right. Hello, hello, hello. If you guys can hear me. Had a little technical difficulty there with the software. Hopefully it is working. There we go. Looks like it's working. All right, I guess we'll try to roll through. It looks like it's broadcasting, but man, sometimes those technical difficulties are just, a little bit funky. All right, so, oops. Look, it's getting these big old pop-ups. Getting these big old pop-ups. Um, all right, so quite a bit of movement, pound related. Obviously seeing some retracing right now. As you can see in the last 60 minutes, pound was down 200. Now it's only down 40, 128. In the last 60 minutes, a 0.4% is quite a retracement. And again, that happens when you have big, big moves. But for the most part, euro dollar flat, 8 pips in 24 hours. Again, dollar yen, 8, dollar Swiss, 2, right? You would think that we'd have, blockbuster movement right now. Dollar CAD down 71. Also, a pretty decent bit of movement. But euro pound being up 79 is the highest percentage. So a lot kind of going on. Again, you guys are around for some of the PAL stuff. I love how we lead with this, that it's much too high. Thank you for acknowledging what everybody else knows. Like 40-year high is, yes, you're well past what your mandate is. The FOMC moving expeditiously, again, adding this word to his list of things that he doesn't actually know what they mean. Because I think everybody, whether it be in the industry, external to the industry, anybody filling their tank up with gas lately, actually, there's some guys I went to high school with. Um, is a post. He's like, hey, he's like, the pump cut me off today. I had to go, I had to initiate the transaction twice because I got cut off at the pump. And another guy was like, yeah, he's like, I have a truck, and yes, I've had to fill up twice for like the last month and a half. I was like, what? I haven't run into that yet, but it's only, I just have a 17-gallon tank, so it's not like my car has like a huge tank. These guys have, trucks, and I guess they have a bigger gas tank, and it cuts you off at a certain amount. Um, so yeah, but yeah, expeditiously not. Obviously, he doesn't quite understand that one. The labor market's extremely tight. Okay, people are, jobs are, they're starting to let people off. I get it that they still, that there's plenty of job openings out there. Um, yeah, I think there's a lot of questions about this one. So, this is the excuse that they're like. I mean, they did the transitory thing for like 6 months to a year. So I don't know. Maybe the extremely tight labor market will be kind of what they're talking about. At the same time, we have tomorrow the unemployment rate coming down. So it's an extremely tight market, but the unemployment rate is at 3.5. So yeah, people aren't working. They don't want to work. It seems like because remember, this is not participation. This is unemployment rate. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of a weird, weird take on that one. And again, we anticipate ongoing increases. Well, you have to if you do the simple math. Again, this is the, you know, FOMC with crayons. The economy's fundamental momentum is still robust, so it's great. Yeah, and the economy's great, right? But we're a long way away. But it's appropriate, right? It's still robust. But we're a long way away. We'll be able to reach it fast because we're going to move fast. But no, we can't let wage prices spiral out of control. It's nice that he says we can't, but it's going to happen. But this is what I think is interesting. We estimate that neutral will be between 2 and 3%. If higher rates required, we'll not hesitate. So they've been wrong on every single thing thus far of what it was going to take. Remember, transitory, don't worry, guys. It's all going to go away, and it didn't. It got worse. We're at 40-year highs. Now they're saying 2 to 3% is what we're going to need just to get to neutral, right, where it's not going to go up anymore. We're at 1%. So even if we do 0.5 raises, which sounds like that's what they're considering is what they're going to do, it's still going to take 4 to 5 raises. We could potentially be into next year before inflation even slows down. So, I mean, we got food prices at double, gas prices at double, going to get worse. OPEC basically, once again today, reaffirmed that they don't care what the American citizen pays for gas. Um, yeah, just because the rest of the world doesn't like Russian oil, you still have to consider it as far as the chess pieces on the table. Just because you don't want to buy it, that's your problem, not ours. If you want to they are not going to hesitate to, profit from higher oil prices. And again, James is dancing out in the streets at this point. I mean, we're up to almost 110. Yeah, sorry, 110. We're over 110 now. You know, we were back down in the low 90s, and then there we go. Actually, we were at 111, right? We're at 111, so it's at a low 110 right now. So yeah, I'm actually really, really looking forward to this FOMC kind of comments from Bullard. Again, it's tomorrow night at 7:15, so it's more of like a beer and popcorn, or whatever else you want to, whatever else you want to have. But you need something for this one, so I can't wait to hear how pointed he's going to be in his statements. Um, and again, that's from yesterday. Bailey speaking again this morning. Pound obviously taking on the chops, but it is retracing back again. Their comments also extremely weak. We're navigating a very narrow path, which he's not wrong. I mean, it is. It is a very narrow path. Inflation is well above the target in the near term. They've raised 4 times already at 0.25, and it's done really nothing. I love this. Subsequently falls below, target. Yes, I do have the boy. Here, buddy. Here, take this. Here, what this? Oh, what's this? Um, so yeah, it's hard for them because although they're not, where is it? We're not in. Oh, that's a nice one. Nice little chart there. Although I love this, when CPI inflation falls, it will fall rapidly. I guess that's kind of the transitory thing that you waited for 2 years to talk about. But yeah, I don't think so. The risks of inflation are skewed to the upside. Yes, they are, and probably not getting better, right? So, where is it? It's in here. Basically, what's crazy about this is again they're by their technical definition, the UK is not in a recession. Okay, it's probably this one right here. Protecting sales governments. Yeah, here it is. But they do not. But they do indicate a significant slowdown. So 4 raises, right? 4 raises thus far. Not in a recession yet, but they're already seeing economic slowdown, but yet they have not seen CPI or overall inflation start to slow down yet. So it's literally on the brink of putting it into recession, and thus far it hasn't slowed it. So that's kind of, I think, what we have coming down the road. The timing of it, though, is what strains. They have 4. Again, we're doing a little bit faster. If you add, I would say like another, I mean, we're at the same right now, 1%. If it's not even supposed to get neutral till 2, that means 2 more raises. That means, again, this fall sometimes potentially we could get to neutral. But at that point, I mean, you'll have the mob in the streets. It's like, you've done nothing all year. You've raised interest rates. We're already seeing signs of companies starting to let people off in preparation for this. Um, I don't know. I mean, I mean, how does that turn out? Are we going into a recession? So, yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. Not the ideal scenario. I'm still, in shock that it was that weak. The Yahoo Finance, like I get the updates. Yahoo Finances this morning is like Pal and crew threw, stock traders another bone. And I was like, well, yeah. I mean, there's, you know, yeah. You didn't. It's not a fancy headline, but it's true. And again, it's not my opinion. Look at gold. Gold absolutely skyrocketed. Like, yes, inflation is here. It's going to get worse. Ha ha ha. And gold traders went crazy with it. So yeah, I mean, he might as well have just given the 0.25 yesterday with the comments that he made, especially because he's like, and 0.75 is off the table. We'll never do 0.75. Really? You just said never, right? Um, I don't know that you can make a statement. I mean, you said that zero point 0.5 was off the table. Now it only took you one time and you did 0.5. What if it continues to get worse, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're being loud? Here's a red car. Here, take the red car. Here. Ooh, red car. Um, So I think we could be in trouble for that one. And again, unemployment claims are higher. Why? Well, we saw it. Where is it? Did I get rid of it? Oh, it's not that one. Job cuts for the second month. So again, you're starting to see companies start to protect and prepare for a recession. And again, this is kind of what happens. The preparation oftentimes is a lot worse than the actual policy itself. And again, if they're cutting back right now because of numerous reasons, right? People don't want to spend. People are concerned about a recession. We're told we're going to go into a recession. Um, again, a pullback is not necessarily unnatural, but it's again we're threading the needle. This is kind of why you're seeing it. And the question now is that going to skew up and mess up tomorrow? Unemployment claims are higher. Is the Here we go. Is the unemployment rate not going to go down? Is it going to be even more data? Which is, again, people are going to be like, oh my God, it didn't go down. It was supposed to go down. Is that going to lead us to more red closing on a Friday? Right. Um, Again, huge boom yesterday, but can we get a bust a day or two later? That's kind of where we're at. And we're already starting to see some of those moves. But it's amazing how fast this pound is retracing, that it's already cut its wins in half. Um, I'm at my kid's school listening, but I can't participate in chat. Uh-oh, sounds like Ernest will have his hacks in very, very fast today, Neuro. He'll put him in. He'll slide him right in. We won't even see him. I think Ernest is just telegraphing his stealthiness today. Um, so, anyway, really today there's no other news. We're just going to digest this, and it's going to be stories of the pound. I think this is really kind of the main thing that we should be focusing on right now. OPEC plus the hold next meeting on June 2nd. Again, we got another month of oil prices there. They increased it a little bit, but again, this is what was planned. Everybody knew this. They are not increasing oil output. Again, they've already said we're leaving politics out of this. So really right now, I mean, I would say for the next month, I mean, unless magically, like, I don't know, we get world peace in the Ukraine, which I don't think is happening at this point. I mean, what other fundamental factors can we have? I mean, we can't bring any more plants or anything online. OPEC has already said there's no other oil besides Russian oil. The UK, the Europe can agree to take oil for another, period of time, but the reality is what happens with this, if they say no oil, right? We're not going to take Russian oil. We're just going to block Russian oil. Okay, great. That means the oil that you do have now is worth more, so you're going to pay more for it. But at the same time, other countries now that will take Russian oil, they're either going to get a discount, or because of kind of OPEC, are they going to have to pay the inflated prices because of Europe? So I think oil is definitely a very interesting battleground asset right now. Um, and if I had to pick a direction, as much as I hate to say this, I think oil is one of these things that when we get pullbacks, I think it has to be thrown in the natural gas category of this is probably going higher, right? And although I'm half joking, I do think that if you literally look at who was the most impactful person on climate change, it's going to go back to Putin, for the fact that people are so motivated now to get away from fossil fuels, just not from Russia, but in general. I mean, it is directly targeted towards Russian fossil fuel, but there is going to be such an effort to, like, listen, we need to become energy independent. Fossil fuels are bad. Like, he's going to end up receiving like the humanitarian environmental protection award, right? Because he stomped into the Ukraine. So, yeah. But the strength, what's weird too about this, buddy. It's very hard when you're talking to yourself. Um, here, look, lights. Um, what's very weird about this is we're not actually hearing a lot of. We're hearing headlines of we're gonna, we're focused on that. We're gonna have a release of the strategic oil reserve. What type of, and again, it's kind of like we're going to give this much money in weapons. We're going to do this much money in weapons. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. You have to deal with inflation in the new year. We haven't heard as much investment. Like, I think we just tried to give the Ukraine like another $33 billion or something like that in weapons and arms and artillery pieces. What type of innovation could have happened if if instead of just giving them more weapons, because again they're winning with the weapons that they have now, um, if they gave $33 billion for the innovations of new, again, alternative or renewable energy sources, what kind of stuff do you think we could get right now? Right? Imagine with $33 billion being put into the solar industry or the renewable industry, or I mean, I don't know. Just imagine what could be done with that, right? But we're not doing that. We're just, more weapons, pay high prices of gas, you know. It's just crazy. It's crazy to see what that much money could actually do and how that could advance society. So, yeah, crazy stuff. But anyway, again, tomorrow morning it is a big one. Non-farm payroll is a big deal. Average earnings is definitely something to watch. Non-farm employment change already expected to be less than it was before, and again, the ADP number was not as expected, and I think the unemployment rate is going to be a big one. No other major news out there. Maybe we'll get something else and get some headlines, but yeah. So again, for what we've had in the last 24 hours, some of these things are rather, buddy. Seriously, you're not. Yeah. Yep. Come here. Come here. What? Are you happy now? Here, you want to eat Daddy's phone? Here, here. I can't take the talking. All right. So yeah, Debbie, it'd be amazing, right? Instead of let's give more weapons to wage more. Like, here's the thing, like Russia's almost out of stuff anyway. Like, let's give them more stuff. Like, why don't we just, we could solve the problem. What if we didn't need our oil here, right? Then we could say, hey, you know what, Europe, you're not where we are technologically yet, but you know what? You don't need Russian oil. Take ours because we don't need it anymore, right? We'll sell it to you, right? We'll give it to you cheap, right? Yeah. Yeah. But instead we're not doing that. So yeah. Anyway, all right, let's go across and let's start looking at some of these currencies. So, yeah, so we were talking about a big drop again, parabolic move in this one. Interestingly enough, the parabolic move did come back and it got close. Actually, if we drag it all the way down, you can see there was a zone there. It was tested. It's a level that we talked about, and really kind of the retrace on this one. We were really looking for shorts to come in yesterday, but again, that data was just so weak. I mean, there's nothing we could do about it. So, these all got blown through, and again, something like that, the 30-minute levels do not work. But this one a little bit higher. It was tested one time, so we knew that it was going to be a level. It was extending kind of the move. I mean, this was a move of 133 pips, so we're one and a half, almost two times. That's the definition of a parabolic move. And now we've had the parabolic retracement, and we're literally back down to where we started. So again, a standard kind of a standard piece, right? I mean, this is a standard trade setup that we're going to see. And, I thought that this would be the big one. It looks just like the gold chart. I mean, it just exploded higher. And again, in the comments that we got, I mean, it's 100% justified. I'd like to say that, oh, this is market manipulation, but it's not. It was an extremely weak statement. The market absolutely wanted more. And yeah, so I mean, not much we can do with it now. The trade is obviously out at this point. I like to see where we get some basing lower. I don't think that obviously the Aussie's in a great necessarily a demanding place. This was pure dollar weakness, and again, they are going to continue to rise. They are going to continue to do with it. It's just when is the market going to finally start to price in the next rate hike? And again, the next one should be zero point 0.5. We should hear some message from Bullard about it. And if you look at the way that it kind of grind up yesterday, it did it in steps, right? Step, 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 step. Here's the only one that really kind of has like a true retest to it. I would say right now that would be my downward side target would be 71.30, and then after that, look for it to break. And we do remember have a Harry Potter trade set up that a level that's been this would be hit number 4 that it's been pushed through multiple times. That we have an entry down here at 70, 77. So again, if you guys got the retracement on this one, awesome job. That's what what we're looking to do. Um, yes, buddy, you're making this very difficult today. Yeah. Um, Again, Aussie dollar, Aussie yen. We talked about having this one on a target on the top side, and we did. We finally hit it. We ended up breaking through, and again, it got pretty volatile right there. You can see the volatility in that red candle, right at buddy, right FOMC time. It had a reversal. I wouldn't say that I like this reversal as much. We knew we had selling coming in up here. It got like a more kind of near term high. You guys could have shorted this one, and it hit it right around 2 o'clock this morning. If you're awake, it's had a bit of a pullback right now, down 64 pips. So I mean, a decent overnight runner if you're awake. I was not awake for this one, so it's definitely something you could have played off an old level. Right now, I would be kind of looking for here. Let's actually, because we're so close to the 78, let's just take this one off now. We don't need the old level. We have a new one printed there. Again, look at this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 just sliced through it. So again, it's actually basing in there now, but we're gonna take it off just to clean it. We don't need that. Again, this one is obviously if you didn't get the long here, you obviously got the long up there. Um, we'll leave that. Let's take again some simple fib draws on this one and see what's coming up. Yeah, there we go. So that same zone, that's what I was wondering. The same zone that's been hit a few times, it has built buyers up again. I would say that this is probably the downside target right now of 92.87, right? I'm sorry, 92.28. What? What are you doing? You can't have the microphone. I can't talk if you have the microphone. That's where I would look for this one to kind of pull back down to. And again, it's kind of funny. We talked about yen's weak, yen weak, yen weak. Is it really? I mean, it's going to roll all the way back down again. This one actually is just more of a retracement of the Aussie dollar. Is really all it is. But I think 92.87 is really where we look for this one to pull back down again, and that could be the next popping point. Um, we don't really necessarily have a lot of yen data, but there's that. Euro pound. So again, very, very large spike up. We had an area up here, and again, it was a small zone. We were looking for kind of a pop in the other direction, but it did pull back right before the news release, meaning that, yeah, we were kind of looking to go long on this one. This is an enormous pop. This is a 110 pips and an hour and a half in the euro pound. That's a lot of movement. But at the same time, we are looking for potential shorts here. I would say this one retraces back again. Um, buddy, yes. Buddy, I'm talking so they can hear me, right? They cannot understand you yet. You're not even looking at the charts. If you look at the charts, you can do analysis, but not yet, right? He looks at the charts, he sees them, and he's like, "Oh, if you're talking, I have to talk too." Yes. Yeah. Oh. No, no, no. No, no, no. Yeah, you think you're funny. So I would say again, look for a little bit of basing here and a drop. It's close. We're close to kind of where the base should come in, and a lot of it's profit taking. Okay. Um, what? Yes. Everybody can hear you today. Yeah. Come here. Here. You want this white one? Here. Want this one? Here. Um, distra- distracting a little kid. It lasts for about he's what 6 months old, right? Actually, he's almost 7 months old. He'll be 7 months old in 3 days. Distraction lasts for about 2 minutes if I'm lucky, right? So I have to have like many items to distract him with, right? Melissa has a client call this morning, so obviously he is with me. Um, so yeah, I'd say look for the retracement. It's not like this is a strong European move. This is a weak pound move based off of FOMC and the gut reaction of that. It should be strong. That's in. They did raise. It is technically, as far as banks go, it is a pound strength based move. So look for a full retracement down. And it's a decent one. If we can get a breakthrough, it's a 70 pip mover. So that's pretty decent for this pair. And again, the 85 is getting a little bit high. I think this one should be more closer down here into the 82.40 range. Euro yen. And again, Euro yen literally just banging right off these two. Now, this zone's been hit enough times. I think at this point it probably breaks through. But we had these two levels drawn, and you can see we missed it here. Hit it, dropped, hit it, dropped, hit it, dropped. Basing, dropped again, right? Found some buyers and has pushed. There was a trade here that you could have taken, right? And again, it's kind of in the middle. This is a 9 o'clock kind of session opener with the yen. And again, it was kind of a buddy. You can see it was a 61.8 entry at a session open. So again, it's combining a couple different strategies in there, but it was a decent level. And let me delete this just so I can explain kind of what that is. Buddy, you're never this loud. See this formation right here? Love this formation, right? I love the fact that the red was the low, the green was higher, and then it kind of exploded off. I like the fact that I can draw a kind of horizontal line there, right? Did mommy feed you sugar and then deliver you to me today? What? You don't ever talk this much. What's up? What's up? Huh? This is lots of talking today, buddy. Um, so there was actually an opening a position today that you could have taken this one. This was one of those ones. Again, I was doing the Nadex presentation. And I looked over. I was like, oh, that was a good one. I missed it. But I just wanted to point it out. I love the way that this kind of moved here, right? And again, 1 to 3 was only to there. So I mean, I guess the reality is it started here. Right, it started right there, and you were out almost instantaneously. And again, it was an 8:30 kind of 9 o'clock move, and it's a great setup. It was one of those ones. Hindsight is like, oh man, I wish I had seen that ahead of time. I didn't, unfortunately, but I wanted to bring it to your attention as well. I do think this one breaks, and there's a couple levels higher. Um, man, this is a record for talking today, huh? Yeah. Um, There's this level right here. I don't really like it for a short. It has hit it. You can see 1, 2, 3, and it kind of came back over here. It is an old 61.8, so I mean there will be some selling in there, but man, it is just hit and push this thing to the brink. So I'd be cautious with this level. I would say the target 137.81, right? 137.81. Oh, hold on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. All right. Here, take this one. This one. I think that's where if you're long, I think you're okay to ride that higher. Again, a little bit of profit taking here. Again, this is where greed comes in a little bit. The 1 to 4 is right there. So I mean, we've already kind of passed, surpassed the 1 to 4. You should be trailing the sucker if you are long. Again, just be aware that there are some sellers coming in. We do have kind of like, I don't know, say 10-30 reversal, but there is, again, a couple people here, but I think overall we get up to 137.81 today. Euro dollar, parabolic move, right? So we were actually looking for this one to kind of give us a little bit more of a leeway in which direction it was going to go in. Um, the funny part about this one is it didn't quite make it back down to the 105 figure, right? How about that for an actual draw? It had a base that it found in the overnight. It literally drove the price up. And again, this is the European session open, right? One confirmation, drove price higher. It started to pull back a little bit and kind of get a little crazier too, and then all of a sudden, bam, grab those same European buyers and off to the races. It did give us again, it's halfway through its parabolic move, and again, this level here, we talked about it. That's why it's yellow. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It was not worth taking any shorts off of, and you can see it didn't even slow it down. It did bounce off the top here, but again, 4 hits, interest rate rise. No, no, there's nothing left in that level. So we'll pull it off, just because I don't want it to kind of confuse kind of future movement. But I would say lower side, again, we do have the touches, but it keeps forming new levels, particularly the one that kind of sent this thing higher. Right now, if you are short, which you absolutely should be short, the entry up top was a little bit strange. It was about 11 o'clock last night that we finally got the top in there and then kind of the base confirmation. For those of you that do have the course, we talk about a red, green, red reversal at the top. You can see that there's your red in that yellow. You can see the green pullback, and you can see the next red right there, which again would signify a reversal. Again, color change at the top. And again, actually, it was a red, green, red, and again, it's a continued push through. So the reversals were there. Okay. Um, Here, you want this? You want this? What is this? Um, right now we got about another 45 pips down. We got about 35 until we run into those sellers from the FOMC boom. The reversal, again, this is where we were beforehand. We're right at where you should be taking profit from your parabolic move. Do you want to continue to take this in further? I like the dollar strength aspect of it. None of this is really European-based news. This is purely dollar, and all it's doing is retracing back. So it, it's not my favorite place to start going. Looking for longs yet. I think 105 makes more sense. Um, here, take it. Here, look. What is that? What is that? Um, yeah, I would say again, 105 is kind of my target for this one. It's got 50 pips to go. If we can make it through the 10:30 time frame and we don't start seeing dollar weakness creep back in again, I think we look for this one at least by the end of the week to get back to 105. I mean, the dollar did raise 50 basis points. That is a big amount. The euro is still extremely weak. They're about to cut gas off. We know they're about to go into a recession. There's a lot more weakness there. We're not getting a parity this weekend or by this weekend, but I think we get back down to 105. And I think by the end of tomorrow with non-farm payroll, I think we're going to be able to get down and probably close down here in the 104.50-ish range, probably about 100 pips lower is where I think we can go to by the end of the week. Pound yen. So talked about this earlier. Pound yen. We were looking for a Harry Potter move. We kind of got one, and again, it was not really a setup for yesterday. We were talking about getting that kind of pullback before the news. It didn't. We ended up, it just sliced through. And again, this was not an FOMC based setup. We were not looking to get into this for FOMC, but we were looking for somewhat of a racetrack, and really just the volatility of FOMC popped it up and down. We hit it again, and then this time it didn't hold. So it blew well past where we thought it would, had the ability to go to. So we'll remove these as far as analysis goes, just to kind of keep the charts a little bit easier to see. But we're absolutely looking for a short. Here's the overnight move, and again, here's your 7 o'clock move. Kind of telltale. Late night, it put it in. European session drove this higher, just in time for news. And this is a monster. So was it 260? 273, right? 273 drop off that level. This profit target is gone. This profit target is gone. 78.6 is hit, so that is out. That level's live still. I'm gonna pull that off. Let's see where we could have some reversals. That's interesting. Buddy, I'm running out of toys to give you. Here, you want this one? Oh, here, you don't know what this is yet. How about this? What's this? Ooh, what is that? What is that? So can we have some continued selling pressure here with the 23.6? I'd say maybe. I mean, like I said, we have profit taking coming in. They got about 2 hours left in the European day. The area we were really looking to target at any type of a downward push was this 160 mark. That's kind of the big psychological number. 161 is not really that. With as much negativity, and again, the comments that Bailey made talking about how we disagree with those who believe interest rates should be raised much higher. It seems like Bailey's into this. Like Bailey's doing his best to not put him in a recession, but literally push this to the brink of all right. How far can we push this before they're calling for my head? It shouldn't be much higher. He's basically saying that we're going to let inflation continue to move. We're going to continue with a weak pound status for a bit longer, right? So I'd love to say I'd love keep my pound strength kind of call, but with that statement, I think this is a good opportunity. It is a 23.6 pullback. Again, the 23s are not always ironclad, but I got to say I'm on the bear side of this one. Like I said, I do believe the UK is in a good spot. I do believe they are navigating cautiously, but that statement about how people think it's much higher and we all disagree with that. We can't do it higher. They're basically saying like I don't want to be the guy that puts us in a recession, and we've seen a slowdown. We're not in a recession yet because as soon as they're in a recession, then it's kind of like oh crap, what do we do now? So it's close. Pound dollar. So pound dollar. This was we talked about this in the index discussion. We were looking for selling between 125.99 and 126.26. If I extend that all the way up, you can see that was right in there. Missed the top by like a little bit, but again, you could have gotten a failure to go higher trade in this one. You also have your red, your green, and your red. So again, pretty easy to grab that level. I'll pull it back so you can see it. Here was FOMC, and again, very weak statement. It was already retracing back down again. And all it did was just continue to grab the move. And the original target that we were looking for yesterday was the 123.72. It hit it. I mean, it just it went higher and then drove all the way back down again. Kind of the same sentiment I just talked about. The dollar did raise. Yes, it was a weak statement, but they raised at least 0.5 and the next one will be 0.5. I can pretty much guarantee that the pound next time is not going to raise 0.5. If anything, they would do another 0.25. So this is also one that I would love to say, hey, listen, here's an area. This is where a parabolic move would happen. But that statement, the more I think about this statement, the more I'm looking like, wow, this is kind of like worst case scenario for UK traders. You know, anybody that thinks that it should be much higher is wrong. It's like, oof, right? 4 raises in, economy's slowing down, and inflation is not stopping. I definitely wouldn't want his job. So yeah, so we'll see. I think let's see. Let me look at the dollar before I say this. Yeah, dollar strengthening. If dollar was up here, I would say yeah, look for this to stop at 1030, but dollar's still rising. Yeah, I mean, target's been hit, kind of got the confirmation in. If you're really looking for something, yeah, but unfortunately, this is kind of where those fundamental changes in the market. We've been graced with so many parabolic retracements already this morning. I'm just afraid right now that the pound is not going to get one. Not yet anyway. Not yet anyway. Let me see 4-hour rise. Wow, here. You want this one? You want this? You want this one? What's this? Let's see. There's our next area. There we go. I would say this is probably the next level. 122.88 is the range that I'd be looking for buyers to step in. Let's see how far is that. Yeah, it's only 67 pips. I would say that I'd be a lot more comfortable with finding the basing level that's going to be down here and then taking it long from there. Unfortunately, with this little bit of a pullback, all this was a little bit of a reprieve. It's like, yeah, buddy, what are you doing here? There. Um, Sorry, pound. I know I've been so bullish on the pound and talked about it, but I'm not exactly sure. I understand what Bailey. I understand, buddy. Stop. I understand what's happened with Bailey. I feel bad for him. Right. We need to come up with like a GoFundMe for Bailey. All right. Dollar CAD. So Dollar CAD was actually in a great place for yesterday. I really like this one on a technical setup. We had the dollar pulling back. Unfortunately, we had this we had the dollar really from like 10:30 on pulling down. I loved it. I love the fact that it was at a 50% retracement. It had come back again. It did have an initial burst forward and then immediately turned and tanked back down again on the weakness. This is one of those ones. I'm not too proud to say it. I actually had a long position here. I just really liked how this one had set up. And again, using a couple of different tools. I mean, it already bounced off it once. I had really kind of one confirmation off of it. It was a little bit deep, and I knew that. But I liked how this one had pulled back down. I liked what we had seen in oil. I knew we were going to raise, and it was kind of like, all right. I knew I had OPEC coming in, which is going to probably sandbag it, and I was looking for some help with that one. I got the initial push, and then boom, the bottom just fell out, unfortunately. The statement of the 0.75 really just sandbagged this one. I was not expecting him to kind of be like, no, no 7.5, Um, so yeah, I mean, it's a hard one, right? You always see this and you're like, and it did make it up. I mean, it made it to a 2-to-1, right? Two reward. It did make it to 3, and again, that's trading. So it did retrace all the way back down again, which is nice because again, we can take some of these fib targets off now. We can remove this. We can talk about, hey, wait a second. This was a level. It's not anymore. Remove it. Draw fibs now from the top side down, and you can see we're kind of floating right with that same area. There's not the same base. I don't like it as much. If I had to pick a level, I'd say probably the 61.8 is the better level now to sell from. Um, right there, 128.33, buddy. I need that. I know that's what you want. Oh, here, yes. Somebody is super super tired. If you guys couldn't tell. Yeah, come on, go sleep. So I would look for a reversal. I think again the dollar is justified to go up, but right now this is strong dollar versus strong oil. Oil's at 109, so it is pulling back from its 111, but it is still higher than it was. It's still up 1.56%. I think once the kind of dollar has settled in and it's fully priced in, I think this one takes a reversal. And I think 128.33 is a decent level for that. And again, it was able to stop the halt. Here, you want this one? Which one? Do you want this one or this one? It's a great in my eyes a 61.8, nice pullback FOMC stop. This is a good. I think this is a good spot. Okay, dollar Swiss. Okay, so dollar Swiss. I was looking for the drive higher. It already started to pull back down again, and I hate to say this, and this is what I was joking about, like with Ernest yesterday. If you guys are watching chat, this is what I was joking with that I felt dirty. I was like, I can't say a chart is a chart is a chart without taking this one. And it was funny how there was literally a kind of a knockout. There was a couple positions. There was a knockout over here for 115, and I was looking at it. I was like, "Oh God, look at this thing! Look at this! Look at this! It's 50. I'm sorry, not 115. It was $15." And I was like, "Oh my God, why do they do this to me?" I was like, "All right, I legitimately have to put a position on." So I hate to say it, but yeah, there was a good position in this one. I know I am like there's people rolling over in their grave. You're like, see, you beat up on the dollar Swiss all the time. It literally pushed right into that zone before the news. It had done it all morning. It was an amazing short. I apologize to all my Swissy fans out there. Yeah, I had to take it, and it was like, oh. So I'm cleansing my soul at this point. Yes, it was an easy short. I hope all of you got it. I'm gonna put my head back into the Swissy box of shame. But I would still at this point say you need to go long. Once the bottom came in, it was like, yep, this is where the long should come in. So, yeah. All right, I got that off my shoulders. Yeah, maybe that's why he was happy. He's like, "You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it." I did it. So there. That's all I got to say. This one goes higher. Dollar yen. So dollar yen. Funny enough, dollar yen actually did bounce right off that top side. We talked about shorts at 130.30. And where the FOMC notice came in, it started to pull it down, and then Powell spoke and literally came back up, grabbed that same level again, and then just went ham, right? It blew through the bottom one, came all the way down, ended up tagging the profit target. You guys can see right here. This is where the profit target was for the shorts. It blew through that even. I mean, talk about a huge move. And this is one candle on a 30-minute. Um, what? 177 pips. Now, I was saying that I didn't expect a lot of movement on this one. Unfortunately, the statement was so weak. It was a weak dollar position, or it was a weak dollar statement, and it was a strong yen statement because again, the proxy for the Dow. So, I mean, this was the perfect scenario, and it's just amazing how we literally came right back up, grabbed the same level we were talking about. It was the old 50% retracement level. Obviously, when it was here, we had to adjust a bit, but then it blew all the way down, grabbed our profit target, and now we're at the exact same spot. So, interesting spot that we're in now. I would say use caution if you're looking to get short this. It has hit it a few times at this point. Again, hit it here. This one was lower. This one was lower again. There's three. It stopped the spike. We're kind of hitting again. You may say, well, this was a short. Yeah, I would say it's probably not horrible. Um, what? Your eyes are closed. Just shh. He's got his eye. He's actually asleep right now, but his eyes are closed and he's just mumbling because he's a baby, right? Yeah, buddy. But yeah, I would say again, if you're looking for short, it's okay. We're right around that 130 figure, so there's a lot of other factors going to be involved with this one. It's amazing with everything going on, as strong as the dollar is, we raised and everything. Once they said that 130, 135, it's not really a big deal. It doesn't really affect us any differently. It's amazing how we're just holding this 130 figure and it will not move anymore, right? Again, raised interest rates dropped, and now all it did is again, this is a great parabolic move. And actually, I think excuse me, I think that actually was a 50%, right? Yeah, it was. I had this drawn on the other platform earlier too. Look at that, 50% draw all the way back down again. So a couple different things of opportunity here. And like I said, you know, I'm drawing a lot more fibs on the charts because I know people like them. Fibs is one of those things. It's much more of an active type trading style than what I have, right? I mean, with fibs, you literally got to be drawing this thing nonstop, and you got to be watching the charts at all time. I prefer more of the low key set and forget, right? I prefer the setting and forgetting and having higher quality levels and getting alerted of things. But this is one of those ones that if you guys were here at what 8 o'clock last night, right? You could have said, "Oh, wait a second, look, there's a fib, there's top to bottom. Oh man, there's my 50," right? Now, where I kind of disagree with this one is this was a low volume turning time. There's not really a lot telling you that, yep, you should turn it there. There's no confirmation. And you could say, okay, well, hit the 50. There's my confirmation. But I worry about risk first. You may say, okay, well, again, if I'm going to use 50, then I use 61. And again, this is how people commonly use it. You know, there's your 61. I want at least a 1 to 3. It squeaked in right there. So it got really, really close before turning. So this is one of the ones that work, but I get very, very nervous when there's no confirmation whatsoever here. And again, fibs are not, if you research into fibs, they're meant as a kind of more of a confirmation of other strategies. That's what the correct way of using them is supposed to be. So it worked in this one, but I always get nervous, right? Had you just done a parabolic move off this one, done a parabolic retracement, all right? Let's delete this. And actually, I go down to 15 because I think it's cleaner, right? Yeah, a little bit, not really, but there's your level right there, and there's your takeoff point. So looking for a parabolic move, there you go. All the way back up. Found the reverse side. And again, if you're really looking for something, take the short back lower. Okay. So, number of different ways to play it. And again, this was just a little bit later, right? Instead of hitting it at 7 o'clock, this was at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So, number of different ways this is going to cat. I'm sure that's going to anger some people, but that's okay. So, cryptos, obviously, actually all the meme stocks. It looks like everything I have in the crypto category, but Bitcoin down 2.5% back at 38,000 below 39, Ethereum down 4, AMC down 4, GME down 5, Doji down 2.6, TLT. Again, not really surprised. I actually am more surprised that TLT didn't have more of a spike yesterday. But again, weak, not weak. The reality of bonds is it was an interest rate rise. It was point 0.5. That does weaken the value of bonds because of the inverse relationships with yields and interest rates, right? As the price, as the as the interest rate goes up, the value of bonds goes down, right? Um, it had to happen. It happened more today. I'm more surprised it didn't get more of a move yesterday. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is just something that's been happening for quite a long time. I mean, again, this is traditional options with TLT. Okay. So not really surprised by this one at all. I'm just more surprised it didn't do more of a move yesterday and then continued today. Um, let's look at the commodities. So oil has found what I would say is kind of somewhat of a top, right? If you wanted to kind of pull something in, you could say, well, wait a second, hold on, hold up, right? We're getting close to, kind of a 23.6. Um, is it time to go long? I would say this is an interesting story because again, we are close to the 23.6. We do have a pullback level. We are sitting right there, but we literally just bounced off of 111.50. So I mean, it has pulled down a lot. We're down $2 at 109.50, a 2% move. It's still at 1.6% from where we were yesterday. It's been quite a mover, and with OPEC saying what they have, there was obviously the initial response to this one higher. Let's see if there's been a headline as far as oil goes. Maradona's hand of God. I mean, the top news right now is Maradona's hand of God jersey. Um, Canada supporting Indigenous prosperity. I'll have to read this one later. Here we go. The ECB should raise rate in July. That's kind of funny. Policymakers see rate hike as soon as possible as next meeting. Not possible for July, and then maybe it's possible in July. And now this. July or not July is the question. Yeah. So I was looking for some type of an oil headline. Not much. Um, my take on this one is whenever there's a pullback and we have a good buying opportunity, I think oil has the ability to go higher. OPEC did not increase demand. They don't care about it. They're looking at the grand scheme of things, and they're going to keep using China as an excuse for as long as they can. As soon as China comes out of their lockdown, which again I think it's inevitable that they will. If we're at 110, 111 when China lifts the lockdown on Shanghai, that should be an initial surge. I think this has the ability to go. I mean, I hate to say it, but like 115, 120, I think. Um, I'd be looking for long opportunity. So I'd really like to find a good bottom on this one. Like I said, drawing this from the easy, kind of low to high, we're at the 23.6. If you want to draw like the last actual trend, right? Obviously, there's a trend change here. This is the last start of the trend. Again, low to high from the start of the current trend to the top. We're also the 23.6. So you can see it doesn't really affect that area too much. It's just a little bit lower. I think you're going to have people that are really, really into fibs, right? Looking for buying opportunities here. Okay. Now again, it is that 10:30 time frame. The market opened. Come on, you can go to a 15. Market opened here, right at this green candle. So thus far today, the trend has been down, right? Now that it's 10:30, this would be where we get a reversal for the morning, right? 10:30 is right there. That's where we'd see a reversal higher. But I think it has the ability to go higher. I like I said, I told you guys the other day, it cost me $71 to fill the car. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, I used to hate spending like $40, right? It's like, oh man, I'm like 34, 36, 38, $43. That sucked. Now it's like 71. I'm like, ah, I'm like, this is just ugh, right? So not fun. Natural gas. Also, I think we have an opportunity coming up, right? Now, natural gas is definitely pulling back. How about this one for yesterday? We talked about what the next extension move was going to be. Look at that. So if you remember yesterday, remember I drew this and I said it was going to go to 867. It went to, actually, I just look over here. I said 867. It went to 865. I missed it by 2 cents. So yeah, yeah, missed it by 2 cents. And then what it did is it gave us a base, which you're like, ooh, a base. Oh, we got a pullback. And then the European session continued to drive it lower. So unfortunately, the trade is out. It's a little bit late now. Um, but again, there's your European move was down, up, and confirmation, and there's your 1 to 3 right there. So very very quick trade. But look at that, your boy knows some things. Yeah, 2 cents. I was close, and I probably just kind of got really close on one of these and didn't hit it dead on. But yeah, so right now, let's see, let's draw some stuff on here. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting close. Yeah, we're getting close. There's nothing at the 50, so it's not a major area for me. I'd say that there's probably something sitting right there. Let's take this full kind of low to high here because it's not quite, it's not exactly the low, but it's the last kind of pullback. Remove that. There is a small zone. Actually, there is a zone right around there. I would say these are the two downside targets. I don't care about that anymore. Again, they kind of coincide with our two old targets as well. Our two upward side targets. Let's pull this. Pull that. We're going to pull one across here. Yeah, so right now, looks like we got a potential at $8.10. Let's see. Look at that. Expected build for natural gas. And again, our natural gas supply is not as big of a mover, right? Right now, your natural gas prices are being driven by Europe, not what's happening in the United States, obviously. Um, look at this. Labor costs, unit labor costs are up 11% quarter over quarter, right? So the cost of labor is higher. The productivity rate, the non-farm productivity rate, down, much worse than expected. So yeah, none of these are great. It's close. Unfortunately, like I said, under normal circumstances, when natural gas is doing what it's, what it, like today's inventory would actually matter. Unfortunately, it's all driven by Europe right now, so we need some headlines. But yeah, I would say 810. This would be a first target, and then if you want to take a bounce off of it, like if you can kind of start springboarding off of it, I think you could have one of these with natural gas. Okay, so look for the short now. But yeah, there was your extension from yesterday. Gold pulling back as it should. Now it's pulling back from this level. It's a level. I don't really like the level. It's been a lot of time there. It did push out of it. It was, this is a 9 o'clock rollover. So again, it makes sense that it's doing it. It's definitely profit taking from yesterday. I like 1920. Unfortunately, I think the session open is really what, got us on this one. I think this one kind of rolls back down. Curious to see if this pops at a 50. I wouldn't, let's see. Yeah, it does. Looks like right there. That's the target right now. So, but I will say it like this. Look at this. Let's remove this so we can see a little bit better. Do like the base. Do like that it's a 50. Do like that it is pulling back because again they did raise it. Yeah. We're gonna kill inflation. Not under PAL unfortunately, but it'll be the next guy. I would say there's a short right there because here's the pop of the move. There's your target, and it just happens to be where the 1 to 3 is. So break of 1880, right? It is unfortunate because I did have something up here at 1920. So wah wah wah. Session open got us. Session open got us, and yeah, look at this. Everything is in a parabolic retracement. Wah wah wah. Wow, VIX is up 10% right now. Markets are getting owned. Anyway, there's silver. Silver's just continuing lower. This one still has a little bit more room to run. I would say that this one has a profit target of down here again. Just take this over, and we'll throw that on there as the short target. Yeah, I mean, it's just a parabolic move. If you guys are not in this one or looking to get an entry, I'd say that there's probably where we'd want to draw this one. Right about there. Right. So I don't even know if we're gonna get the pullback. I feel like yes, but I think 23.35 is what's on the cards today for silver. Got to move it. Can do a little bit with it. So, all right, let's look at the indices and see what we got. Again, I just talked about this all with Nadex about how everything to me was a red today. And again, for Nadex, we were sitting right here. Yeah, we talked about 41.80s being our target for the end of the day. Here's our move from yesterday. Again, there's your down, there's your up. Again, we target this. Let's see, where do we establish new things? Where can this stop today? That is a 61.8 level, so maybe we bounce there. Yeah, I don't even know if I would take it long from that area. I'm looking at it, I'm like, would I take it long from there? I'm trying to look at like the way that it was built up, and I kind of feel like no. I would love to say yes, but I kind of feel like no. Um, ugh, that's a rough one. That hit 78. Yeah. Look at this FOMC one. It just blew right through. It didn't even stop in it. As it should have. Um, yeah, I gotta say, I don't really love ES right now. Again, I think we hit this 41,850. It is down big. It's down 2.5%. How do you find out where the indices are called? Um, how do you how do we find out? You mean what like how they have like the US 50 and all that? Is that what you're asking, Carol? Like how they have like the tech number? Is that what you're asking? What it stands for? Um, let's see. 1 second. Um, there. Right here. Sorry, I have the baby, so I only have one hand right now, so it's hard to type. At that link right there. Anyway, I think 41.59 gives us somewhat of potential. Unfortunately, there's so much chop in this level. Yeah, I get it. It's a 50% retracement level. There's so much chop in there. It is 1030, but right now we know that the buyers are really cleared down to 41.60. So I would say that would be more of an area they're willing to take a bounce off of. Again, we raised interest rate. I think everything else was just a little bit, a little bit low, but eh, eh. I said it earlier. Today was just a full. I was looking for a full retracement on everything, and the full retracement is in everything. I will tell you, I sent Todd another email last night. There was another contract at 7 o'clock last night when I looked at it. It was in a. Was that a call spread? Now I'm curious. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The heck is it? Did I delete it? Yeah, I sent him another one last night. It was another one of these. What was it in? Oh yeah, it was ES. Um, yeah, it was a call spread last night. It was another one of the call spreads, and it was $157 risk. It was at the money for a $240 gain. $243 gain. It was like, wait a second. So I got to risk $160 to go through the entire call spread, right? The entire call spread, and only make $243. Really? On like a $400 call spread? I'm like, no, no. So I sent that to him, and yes, he agreed that there was a lot of premium in that one. So again, when you guys see them, please shoot me the message and send them over. It's important that we bring it to their attention. But will say, I think they're going to have a solution for it pretty soon. That they are going to start. It's going to be more competitive. I say that again. They've said that in the past, but again, 4160 on this NQ down 550. Again, we talked about this one, the downside target. It's retraced back again past the 50. None of these things are going to hold. This is where fib traders like, oh yeah. Actually, we'll do it from here. We'll do it the other way. I'll do it this way, and this is again why you're using this. You got to make sure you use it correctly. They still at 23.6, and they're like, yeah, baby, it's going higher. Nope. 50. Yep, going higher. Nope. 61.8, going higher. Nope. So again, be cautious. I don't like personally using the 71.8 or the 78.6. There is one at the 78.6, and that's kind of for Nadex. I said our first target should be 31,112. We obviously have blown that out and it's continuing to move. I think we probably base a little bit. There's some profit taking down here at 12,900. I think we come all the way down, and the question is, again, this is a target we talked about in the past. We had that little Harry Potter over here before, 12,746. That is what? Ouch, another 126. That would be a almost $800 day down. Oof. That's a big move. That's a big move. Yeah, down 4%. 4%. Yeah, so I really hope to God everybody was short from this morning. But again, I'm not willing to take a buy on this one today. Maybe if we base later on today at 2 o'clock, there's an end of the day rally, but I'm not going to draw anything. As I said, for Nadex, when we were sitting right here, I said, hey, this is a short. Got to go short, parabolic retracement, and boom, it's done. It's done in an hour. So obviously Uncle Warren was watching. There was the target that I mentioned. Again, that's the area where, for YM, I said that I'd be looking for all our shorts to go to today. Had the same basing, and we were sitting again right here when I said you need to get short. I missed it I missed it so far by about, let's see, just measure it. 61 points. It's down 660. I missed it by 60 points. So we'll see if we can get down, and kind of the same thing on this one. Yeah, I'm not really looking for anything until at least down in this area for any type of stabilization. There's a lot of drama in here, but I don't want to get involved in all that drama. By the way, if you were looking to take this one long yesterday, there was your basing. There was your pullback into your basing. And there was your explosion off the same basing. So, yeah. Parabolic retracement. And there's your top. There's your failure to go higher. And there's your retracement back to the origin of the move. So again, if you guys do not have the parabolic retracement course and you're interested in finding out how to trade these opportunities, they are on the website. So, yeah, it's in. I wouldn't want to do much with the YM right now either, particularly with the labor stuff. But again, yeah, looks like we're about to hit target. And again, secondary target, if you need another one, right, would be down here at 32,900. Yeah, ugly day. Let me see if there's any headlines coming in. The check raised. Oh, look. Natural gas storage, even higher, right? So, yeah, I wonder if it moved at all. Let's see. Yeah, there's your natural gas storage. We got all that extra natural storage, and it's popping back up again. So, yeah, it got close. Look at how close that got. And let's do the Russell. Russell down 3% as well. And again, there, my target's hit. 81.91 is what we talked about at Nadex. Again, Nadex was done right here. And yeah, monstrous gain. Looks like Uncle Warren was watching the program again. 49 pips to the downside. And I would look for this one to potentially, and again, I wouldn't even potentially bottom it out here. Here's the base, push to the brink, push to the very, very brink again. And again, it took off, but there's no buyers left there. This one's coming all the way down and has the ability to come down to 1840 if nobody else has anything. So, yeah. And again, it's the same drawing. There's your parabolic move up. There's your base. And again, did not get stopped out. There's your reversal all the way back down again. It is really a shame that the contracts were so crappy. These were easy ones to grab. But again, if you're risking 30, if you're an out of the money contract and you're paying 30% of what the total spread is just to get in, That's way too much premium. I mean, yeah, it moved in a direction, but the cost of that is just enormous, and things like that need to get fixed. So yeah, it's a shame. So again, if you do see circumstances where it's something like that, where it's like out of the money, um, you have like an out of the money position like that. Unfortunately, they're all going to be screwed up now. But like, let's see if I can find just an example real quick. Yeah, like here, I'll show you. This is what it should look like, right? And again, I just picked the contract. Again, this is an hour and 20 minutes. If you were out of the money, it's a lower probability. Now, again, this is a 2 hour, so obviously, I mean, it would have been great overnight. But if you were out of the money, meaning that you know, if it expired now, you get zero for it. Right now, if you went long this contract expecting a reversal, it's $3, right? Versus if this one, what I've been finding is it's been $35 or $40 when it's only a 100-point move, and you have to pay $30 to $35 when it's out of the money. I mean, if it closed now, it has that much time value in it, which is ridiculous. So I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about when you find opportunity or when you find things like that where you're like, there's no way I'm taking that risk. Send those to me, screenshot them, send them to me, and I'm going to start sending them in and really start kind of harping on them like this needs to be fixed. Because it helps them make the product better. And it should be. It's just a shame. There's been some amazing setups and just unfortunately some, I don't know if lazy or crappy market makers, but I'm going to get vocal about it. So, all right. So that's it for today. Let's see. Giveaways today. We've got a lot of people in. Neuro going big. Now, Neuro, this is your Neuro won yesterday. So this is Neuro's going for 250. So Neuro going in like ham nuts. See, Debbie, this is kind of what you do, right? He's up big. You can only buy 10 Neuro. That's it. You've hit it. You've bottomed that jalopy out. You can't get any more than 10. But again, he's up so much right now. I mean, today he gets one free, so he's spending 90 pip chips to make 250 today. Yesterday he only spent a little bit, right? And he was up again, so he's still on dealer's cash at this point. So, and again, it looks like nobody is. Ernest is like, I'm gonna put the value and effort in there. But let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over 50% chance of winning. All right. So remember, there is a thing called statistics. Yes, the probabilities are there. But could Debbie steal it with one? Could Marina steal it with one? She's done it in the past. Could Big Will, who has been the I don't want to say equalizer, but man, Will has been on a streak as well. I mean, could Eki come in today and take it, right? And then we got Carol. So again, all odds are saying, if smart money is going to be that Neuro takes it today. But the winner of today's drawing is Marina with 5% chance, right? Right? Will's tapped out. Will's used all his luck. And just like that, Marina with her one ticket and she has her strategy. Bam. It didn't matter with statistics. And again, Marina had a 5% chance of winning. Right? Neuro had at least what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Neuro had like what, a 55% chance of winning? So again, polls and statistics are not always correct. So let's mark it as complete. Let's go back to the leaderboard and look at that. Because he used so many chips, he's now within 20 from Ernest again. So let's give Marina her 25. Gotta love how that works out. And that's why it's fun. And again, that's why there's no guarantees. There's no crying in baseball, Neuro. There's no crying in softball. Wait, baseball, softball. There's no crying in baseball. I guess that's what the comment was, even though they were playing softball. But so yeah, Tesla's getting hammered today. Look at Tesla. Woohoo, free money. Just kidding. Apple. Woohoo. Crushed. Twitter. Elon's taking over. So I'm actually curious. Let me see real fast. Um, Look at that 40,000 mark. Man, we have marked that thing off. And look at that. Look at that hit yesterday. The spike up, grab that hit, and then, man, talk about being in the top. 40,000 is like, oof. Bitcoin people are going to be quiet today. And there's so much opportunity out there. Look at TLT. feel like there's another headline that we're not seeing. It's a lot of movement, picking up speed. Nope, not yet. So I'll never pass Marina, but at least I'm still ahead of Ernest. Man, the guy's at his kid's school and you're trolling him. Still trolling him. All right, everybody. With that said, it is 10:44. We went a little bit late. Apologize again for Kipster. He was obviously hungry and tired. He's been asleep for the last 20 minutes. That's why it's been quiet here in my arms. Can't feel my left hand at this point. But yeah, gotta love kids. But man, oh, you waking up again because I said your name? No, you're just trying to get comfortable again. So, with that said, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. It is non-farm payroll Friday, so again, look for your positions. Hopefully, everything equalizes today, gives us some good trading opportunity. This morning was all about really, the overnight trade right now was nothing but the parabolic retracement of what we saw from yesterday. Extremely weak Fed. Parabolic move, bring us back to where we should be. And again, there could be more negativity, but I wouldn't be actually surprised if we do have somewhat of an end of the day rally. So it's not like we're going into non-farm with the worst week ever, right? But man, right now the numbers out there are screaming. I hope that you watch the early morning NetX program. Again, looks like they're reversing a little bit, but again, YM is actually not reversing. There you go. There our target is hit. So I'm 4 for 4 on targets hit this morning. So yeah, hopefully you guys were short. So with that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. If you need anything, shoot me a message on Discord, and I'll catch you later. Take care.